Hi, future innovators. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Next, we are going to explore the relationship between science and art. Now, this is my favorite. I studied theater, math, and architecture in college, and I have always loved to explore how science informs art and art informs science. First, we will enter the universe within with the Mat Bevel Company and the Museum of Kinetic Art, and do an exploration to expand our creativity and innovation. Then we will go with Dorsey Kaufmann and learn more about ripple effect. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Universe Within. I'm your host, Dr. Bruce Bailey. And now meet your genius co-hosts, the creative directors. Amaya, Daniel, Erica, Jorge, and Cannon. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bruce Bailey, and I'll be your guide during a personal journey to the Imagination Center inside of you. You'll begin this adventure with a daily practice that could change your life and the world around you. We call it the Daily Doodle.
The Daily Doodle. Bring your ideas to life every day. The Universe Within!
Now, what's a doodle anyway? Have you ever drawn shapes on your paper during class? Or sketched pictures and words when you're at home? Those are doodles. Doodles reflect how your ideas change every day. The best thing about doodling is you don't have to know how to write or even draw to use the power of the doodle. Let's get started by using your imagination to come up with a major problem that your character will tackle throughout the universe within. Start by imagining.
If you had the power to change one thing in the world, what would it be?
What would you want to improve?
What issues on your mind?
Maybe that's a problem your character can solve.
Brainstorm problems you've seen in the world. Or choose a social problem that negatively impacts people's lives, or an environmental problem that harms our planet. Think about 3 possible solutions to your problem. Use the Daily Doodle every day and watch your imagination grow.
Lesson 1. Open your imagination. The Universe Within is a world-building course that will spark the inherent creative genius in you. You'll use doodling, sculpture, and kinetic art to learn about scientific observation, physics, geometry, and engineering. Theater, poetry, and storytelling will make it fun for you to present your solutions and ideas you've learned with others. In this first module, called Corrugated Headgear, you'll play the part of a world builder. You'll develop a superhero character who will solve a major problem in your world. You'll build a functional headdress for your character that will help solve the problem in your world. Lesson 1. The Daily Doodle Notebook is an important tool that will be used in every lesson to bring your ideas to life. In Lesson 1, you'll think about social and environmental problems in our communities and in the world. You'll identify one problem that you personally care about. That's the problem your character will solve. You'll need paper, pencil, or pen, and your imagination. You'll be able to identify a variety of social or environmental problems of personal importance so you can choose one and come up with at least 3 solutions. We watched the introduction video. That was step 1. Now, write down one key idea from the video you just watched. The next step, think for a few minutes about a situation you've seen in your family, your community, or the world, and thought to yourself, this isn't right. Explain that situation and why you feel that way. Okay, now what kind of problems do you see in your community, in our country, or around the world? Identify the problems as either social or environmental. You can make 2 columns. This is where you want to explore all the different kinds of problems that you can think about. Environmental problems involve issues that negatively impact the planet's air, water, soil, plants, and atmospheres. Social problems involve issues that negatively impact large numbers of people's health, safety, security, education, and income. Okay, if you had the power to change one thing in the world, what would it be? Describe the problem, then list and describe 3 ways you could solve the problem. Next, share your problem and one possible solution with someone else.
Just scripture, it's mechanical icon, spiritual punk. It's not just a job, it's about spunk, funk, and kinetic junk. It's not.
We would like to introduce you to our world of art, available resource technology. Art is not only a philosophy, but a process developed and practiced by artist and scientist Ned Shaper to create beautiful things from found objects. Art encourages people to create unique, functional, and repurposed items from the things we usually throw away. Why make art from junk? Because it's everywhere, it's free, and it makes being resourceful like a treasure hunt. Plus, when we work with only what's available, we unleash the power of our imagination to solve problems and overcome tough situations. When we repurpose something, we see everything in a new way. Like Johnny Junk always says, recycle, reuse, be aware of repair, for the things that you need are already there. Once you learn to use the power of your imagination, you may think of something that no one has ever thought of before. You can become a superhero of your universe. And what does every superhero need? a signature headdress made from recycled things to take them to their world. Allow us to explain. This is Ned. Now it's Jester Physics. He heads up the School of Intuition in the world of Beveldom. And there's more. Emergency Panic Services. Mr. Chairperson. Hecno Techno. See what we mean? You can be whoever you want to be with just the tip of the hat or headdress. We call it a headset for every mindset. Now it's time to step into your world, build your character, and most importantly, change your point of view. Choose the place you'd like to go. Decide who you'd like to be. Remember, there are no limits and you can't mess up. Are you a king or queen? A villain or scoundrel? In your world, it's totally up to you. We're going to develop features of your character. Using the ancient art of mask making, you're going to create sculptural helmets and headdresses from recycled corrugated cardboard to represent the character you identified for yourself. When you wear your headgear, you'll be transported to your world. The headgear should represent a character that you'd like to play in your universe within. There are no limits on what your mask can look like. It can cover any part of your body or just sit on top of your head. The main thing is that when you wear the headgear, you'll step into the world that you have created. Have a great adventure.
That's the first lesson. Want to take the full course? If you'd like to have access to your very own copy of the Daily Doodle Notebook and all 20 lesson activities and opening videos from the universe within, please contact Paula at 520-604-6273. Later on, we'll get a sneak peek of Lesson 2.
Something about my practice that I'm really passionate about bringing to the field of design and science communication is something called formative evaluation, where instead of just generating materials and presenting them to community members, you actually collaborate with community members to see how would you like to see this information visualized. I'm Dorsey Kaufmann, and I'm the artist and creator behind Ripple Effect, which is a project that visualizes water contamination. When participants look at the installation, they get a sense of if the water is very active, that means that my water has more contamination. We work with a lot of rural communities, and not everyone receives information in the same way. Livestock and poultry, then it makes it a little bit more easier to navigate.
Yes, it made it easy because, like, for me, it's kind of, when you see something like this, it's very complicated.
Right. Yeah. Part of what this is doing is taking a look at how do we revisit the way that we visualize data.
And the explanation here tells me what I'm looking at, what happens, what could happen to me, and it's very practical. Then I can make a choice, not about being afraid of what you find.
Right.
It's about learning about what you're doing and doing it better to keep a healthy lifestyle.
I think what art does is it allows people to attach a feeling to science, to data.
I can find things like here, okay, I got...
If we take a look at the different ways that we're visualizing, maybe that will actually translate into the way that people apply this information, and it will affect them in ways that really haven't been measured before.
Welcome to the Universe Within. I'm your host, Dr. Bruce Bailey. And now meet your genius co-hosts, the creative directors. Amaya, Daniel, Erica, Jorge, and Cannon. Hello, I'm Dr. Bruce Bailey. Today we'll explore the creative genius inside of you. Who comes to mind when you think of a genius? Maybe Albert Einstein, who developed the theory of relativity. Or Isaac Newton, who invented modern physics. How about Mozart, who started composing music when he was 5? You may think people like this are really rare, but do you know what we've discovered? Every one of us is born a creative genius. However, to keep your genius alive, you must use your imagination every day. In The Universe Within, you'll use techniques to open your mind to new ideas and information. With a great question and a little research, you'll learn all kinds of things about your character's problem and how to solve it.
Start solving your problem by asking a few good questions.
What causes the problem?
Why does it need a solution? Who will benefit?
In order to fix a problem, you need to know what's broken first.
My problem is that there's way too much littering happening in the world. So my solution is put the trash where it belongs, like a trash can.
Gather facts about your problem and cite your sources. Organize what you've learned about your problem by its causes and negative effects. I think you'll like meeting the creative genius inside of you.
Hi everyone. Broadcom Foundation is very pleased to be with you tonight to celebrate the incredible projects by so many young people at this event. We hope you have an exciting time with the judges, you learn from each other, and you have a sense that when the competition's over, you're even more excited to become a scientist, engineer, or innovator. This year, we have a new opportunity to recognize a young person who brings their STEM knowledge with coding to a project that improves the community. We look forward to seeing the competition reveal what exciting changes you can bring about in the world.
Success!